Hello everyone from Austin, Texas on this cloudy Tuesday. I have one question for you today. What's the single word that's really key to a great name? Now some of our clients would say attention grabbing. Now I know that's not one word, it's two words, but if you put a hyphen in front of it, or between it's like one word. So we're going to pretend attention grabbing is one word. And that's important, no doubt. You need to cut through all the clutter that's out there, all the noise, and an attention-grabbing name can do that. So what's an example of an attention-grabbing name? One of the names that comes to mind is Big Ass Fans. Big Ass Fans. Certainly a bit risque, raises a few eyebrows, might offend some, but might get others to chuckle. And regardless, it grabs your attention. Another name is X. The beloved Twitter that was out there. And everyone knew what Twitter was all about. And then all of a sudden, here comes X rocking around. Well, and what's that all about, right? Such a radically different name. Also, very controversial. So you might think, well, maybe controversy, right? Maybe a name that's a little bit edgy is the word, the key to a great name. And I don't think so. I think that's part of the way there. But let's talk about a couple brands that have been hot in 2024. For those of you that know Mr. Beast, he has an incredible social media presence, been incredibly successful. And he launched a brand called Feastables, for some food products. And Feastables is a more emotional name, right? It conjures up this idea of a big feast, something that's really going to satiate and satisfy your appetite. Pretty cool name, connects emotionally, and we know that's where you need to go for memorability. So that's an interesting name. Another name that's out there and that's been growing very fast this year, and actually prior to this year, is Native, N-A-T-I-V-E. Now that was purchased by Procter & Gamble a few years ago. I think it was back in 2017 for about $100 million. And they've turned it into a really successful brand for shampoo and body wash and soaps, that kind of stuff. And the whole idea behind Native is it also connects emotionally, right? Back to Mother Nature, things that are cleaner, that are healthier, that are more natural. And so that emotional connection that both Feastables and Native bring to the table is hugely important for resonance, for grabbing the attention of your target, for cutting through the clutter, for creating a name that's memorable. So is emotion or emotional a key word? And it's important, but it's not the word. What I believe the key word is, and it sort of goes back to the history of some of these names. Let's talk about Native first. Well, Native is involved in a lawsuit because Native may not be quite as clean, quite as healthy, quite as, quote, pure as their advertising would lead you to believe. And so the brand may imply something, the name may imply something with all the collateral, the words wrapped around it, that's not true. Big Ass Fans was involved in a patent infringement lawsuit, which they ended up winning, I believe, but nevertheless there was some litigation around that. Mr. Beast Feastables came out with some line extensions, underneath the Feastables master brand. One of those was called Deez Nuts, D-E-E-Z, D-E-E-Z, Nuts. And they got sucked into some trademark litigation, lawsuit, because they're infringing on someone else's trademark, a Deez Nuts, D-E-E apostrophe S, Nuts, which I believe was in Florida. So trademark infringement lawsuit. And that's one of the things we've talked about before is how important it is to make sure you're not encroaching upon someone else's legal rights. And then X, controversial, yes, but certainly offended a lot of the folks that had become used to and loved what Twitter was all about, what tweeting was all about. So in all four of those examples, there are issues with either promises made, expectations created that weren't lived up to. So we believe that the word that is absolutely paramount when it comes to naming is trust. If the name doesn't help support and build trust and authenticity in your brand, your company, your service, your nonprofit, it's not going to really do what you need it to do long term. Now, we've been helping others name things for almost 40 years, since 1985, 1986. Probably longer than just about anybody else that's still in business. A lot of our customers are repeat customers who trust us. So as you move forward with your new name, or your naming exercise, or growing your company, please, please, please don't forget how important that very short, very single word is: trust. Best of luck to you. Much success.